This story is based on my daughter, Labannya, and her life. I live in a small village in Comilla. When I became a widow, my parents arranged my second marriage. They married me off to a man who already had a son, and I had a daughter. My son and daughter started sleeping in the same room, but every morning, as soon as she woke up, my daughter would change the bedsheet. Then she would secretly wash the old sheet and go to bathe. Many times, she would faint. Day by day, she became very weak. One morning, I went to my daughter's room early and was ashamed by what I saw. A single thought escaped from the depths of my heart. God, may no mother ever have to see such a scene. My daughter and son, I became a widow just 2 years after my second marriage. I was only 18 years old at the time because my parents had married me off at 16. I was their only daughter, but I felt like a huge burden to them. It was as if I wasn't their daughter. After I was born, my mother never seemed happy, and my father desperately wanted a son. That's why they disliked me, always avoided me, and didn't love me from their hearts. They didn't accept me as their own daughter and were always angry with me. Due to some family constraints, my father couldn't remarry, and they hated me for it. They always spoke to me harshly, which is why they married me off so early. My husband was a teacher at a government school. We had a 3-year-old daughter, but one day on his way home from school, he had an accident and died on the spot. That day was a catastrophe for me. Misfortune kept falling upon me one after another. A few days later, my in-laws sent me back to my parents' house. Perhaps I was a burden to them too. They didn't look upon me favorably. In their eyes, I was an ill-omened girl who had killed their son. Then I quietly returned to my parents' home. My parents also treated me very poorly. I held my daughter to my chest and cried alone many times. A few days later, my parents arranged my second marriage to a man who also already had a son. We were both in similar situations, so we got married. Otherwise, no good proposals were coming for me. His son's name was Rajib, and my daughter's name was Labannya. We all started living together, and time passed like this. Before we knew it, Labannya was 16 and Rajib was 15. Then, Rajib's father died. My second husband also left us. His health was always poor, and he suffered from many illnesses. Despite his sickness, we were somehow getting by. After he left, all the joy in our home faded. We had our own house, so we didn't have to worry about rent, and I ran a small grocery shop from our home. One night, while we were all sleeping, there was a loud noise. My heart stopped, and I became terrified. I realized the sound was coming from Rajib's room. I ran towards his room and was shocked to see that the roof had collapsed. I was panic-stricken, afraid that Rajib might be trapped under the debris. When I went closer, I found that Rajib wasn't there. He had probably gotten up to use the bathroom, which saved his life. I thanked God that Rajib wasn't hurt. If something had happened to him, how could I have faced his late father? But we didn't have enough money to repair the roof. The condition of the room had become very bad, and we left it as it was. After that, I moved my bed to the kitchen and told the children to sleep in my room because it was very cold outside. The room had one bed and one cot where 2 people could sleep uncomfortably. Now the 2 children had to sleep in the same room. The situation was such that we had no other choice. One room was for the shop, and my husband had built only 3 rooms in total. Although these rooms were enough for the 3 of us, one was needed for the shop. We were managing like this. One day, my son and daughter slept in that room. The next morning, something happened that shocked me. Rajib woke up and was having breakfast, but Labannya was still sleeping. She never slept that late. Why was she sleeping so much today? It was her habit to wake up early. I called out to wake her, but she wouldn't get up. After a while, when I went to her room, I saw she had fainted. I was very frightened. What happened to her? I immediately told Rajib to bring the local doctor home. The doctor came and said that Labannya had fainted and was very weak. She needed rest. Don't let her do any heavy work. Feed her fruits. She will be fine. When Labannya regained consciousness, I asked her what had happened. She said she felt dizzy while sitting and fainted. I told her to rest, and I went to get breakfast for her. When I returned with the food, I saw that Labannya wasn't in her room. and the bed sheet was missing. I went outside and saw her washing the sheet. I asked her, "Why are you washing the sheet? You're not well. The doctor said to rest." I shouted at her, "Get up from here and go to your room, have some breakfast, eat and drink something. Only then will you get better." She said, "No, I have to wash this sheet. We only have one sheet." I said, "Why this sudden urge to wash the sheet? It wasn't so dirty that you need to wash it. Leave it, I'll wash it myself." But she didn't listen to me and took the sheet to the roof to dry. Then she ate breakfast, slept for a while, and Rajib went to work. Rajib had only studied up to high school and worked in a cloth shop. He was very hardworking. I managed the shop at home, but only children came there to buy candy and toffees for 5 or 10 rupees. We couldn't go on like this. I was very worried, but I never told my children about it. I didn't even tell Rajib because he was already working. If I told him, he would worry even more. But I was becoming increasingly anxious myself. The doctor had said to feed my daughter good things, but we didn't even have enough money for lentils and bread. It was becoming very difficult to run the household. One day, something very strange happened. I overheard my son Rajib and daughter Labannya talking about something I couldn't understand. My son said, "You've already ruined your health. You can't go on like this. If it's so painful, we can't do these things." My daughter said, "No, I have to do this. Opportunities like this don't come often. And I didn't know this would happen to me. I had no idea. I don't have any strength." My son said, "Well, now you know. I can't risk your life." The girl said, "It's only for 2 or 4 weeks. After this opportunity won't come again." What was going on? I couldn't understand anything. What were they talking about? One day, I saw something that stunned me. In the morning, my daughter again washed a sheet, hung it on the roof to dry, and then stood to the side vomiting. I said, "What's wrong with you?" She got scared and said, "My stomach suddenly feels upset." I said, "What are you talking about? What are you eating? And why do you keep washing the sheets? Are you hiding something? If I find out you've done something that questions mine and your father's honor, I will never forgive you." My daughter became frightened. She said, "Mom, what are you saying? It's nothing like you're thinking. Maybe you saw a movie today or someone filled your ears with rumors. I'm innocent. And if I washed the sheets, so what? The sheet got dirty, so I washed it. You know I've been unwell for days. The medicine is causing stomach problems. If I vomited, it doesn't mean anything." My daughter spoke to me like that. I slapped her face and she fell to the ground. Just then, Rajib arrived. He said, "Mom, what are you doing? Why are you hitting her?" I said, "Yes, I hit her, and I should have done this a long time ago, but the whole story isn't clear yet. The day I find out everything, you'll see." I didn't even know what had come over me. I was just saying whatever came to my mind, even though I shouldn't have acted that way. At night, my sleep suddenly broke and I saw the light on in my children's room. What were they doing at this hour? They should be sleeping. In the evening, they had said they would sleep early. When I went near the room, I saw they were awake and talking. They seemed very happy about something. My son was saying, "You are very lucky, Labannya." Labannya said, "Yes, I am lucky, but tomorrow when I feel sick again, Mom will be very worried seeing me. How long will I keep lying?" The boy said, "Just a few more days, then everything will be fine." Hearing their conversation, I was astonished. Today, I couldn't hold back. I tried to open the door and was surprised to find it locked from the inside. Why would they lock the door from the inside? The weather was changing. They should sleep with the door open. I started knocking on the door repeatedly, but they took half an hour to open it. When I entered the room, I saw no one else was there, and they were pretending to have just woken up. I said, "Why did you take so long to open it?" They said, "We were sleeping." I said, "Don't lie. You were awake and talking." They said, "Why would we be awake talking at this hour? We don't have any exams to prepare for." Their behavior was incomprehensible. I had no words to say. I left without saying anything to them, but I kept thinking there must be some trouble. One day, my daughter had a bruise on her arm. It looked like an injury mark. I couldn't understand anything. I asked her, and she said she got cut by a knife. But knives cut fingers, not arms. My daughter was definitely hiding something. She would sometimes faint, have strange marks on her body, and sometimes start washing her bedsheet as soon as she got up. They wouldn't let me enter the room. My mind was going where I didn't want it to go. I had made a mistake. Why did I put fire and water together? I shouldn't have done it. I decided I needed to do something now. It was wrong to let a young boy and girl sleep together in the same room. It was my fault. I should have paid attention. Rajib and Labannya were step-siblings. Feelings can change. It doesn't take time. At this age, children can fall into bad company. How could I let step-siblings stay together in one room? It was my mistake. When we don't pay attention to our children, problems are bound to happen. I started keeping an eye on my son and daughter. One day, my son was giving something to Labannya. I was secretly listening to their conversation. He said, "This is your medicine. Take this medicine for the problem, and everything will be fine." He secretly gave Labannya a tablet. I became worried. What medicine was he giving? What problem were they trying to solve without telling me? The medicine looked strange. Labannya took it and hid it under her pillow. Rajib said, "Take it before going to sleep at night. Then you won't faint the next day." For 2 or 3 days, Labannya didn't faint. But when the medicine ran out, she fainted again. That day, Rajib wasn't home. I took the opportunity and cleverly pulled the sheet from under my daughter and took it to my room. I had to see what was on it that made my daughter wash it as soon as she got up, not even caring about her illness. When I unfolded the sheet, at first, I didn't see anything. But after looking closely, I was shocked to find the sheet covered in white, short hairs. I couldn't understand what these hairs were from. I was stunned but couldn't figure it out. I kept thinking, what is going on? I was watching my daughter and son's activities and thinking, but I couldn't find a solution. One day, my daughter found out that I had seen the sheet. She came and sat next to me, looking somewhat strangely frightened. I asked her, "What happened? Why do you look so worried?" She said, "Mom, where is that sheet?" I said, "I washed it." Hearing this, she wanted to leave, but I held her hand and stopped her. I said, "I have seen everything that was on that sheet. Tell me, what is it? What have you been hiding from me all this time? I have become very worried. Bad thoughts are coming to my mind." She sat down beside me, and then my daughter said something that made the ground slip from under my feet. She said, "Mom, it's not what you're thinking. Actually, we saw that the household situation wasn't going well. The shop wasn't running properly, and brother couldn't earn much money either. Then his friend gave him a job. He had some imitation kitten accessories that he couldn't manage alone, so he gave us the job of handling them and paid us a lot of money. Brother used to be at his place during the day, but he needed to rest at night, so he would bring the accessories home and I would take care of them. The fur from those imitation kittens would stick to the sheet in the morning, which I would wash. We knew you wouldn't like it, so we didn't tell you. The kitten fur was causing my allergies, which made me faint. Brother gave me allergy medicine. Mom, the friend was very rich, and he paid us a lot of money for this work. He gave us 1,000 takas a day. Today was the last day those items were in our house because he took them to another city. We have saved enough money to fix the room's roof and buy household rations. We knew you don't like pets, so we didn't tell you. It hurt us a lot when you suspected us. What were you thinking about us? Brother has always thought about us. His father is not in this world, but he stays with us because he doesn't want to leave us alone. He considers me his own sister and has never done anything wrong. He works hard all day, and at night I helped him. I helped him so he could rest." Hearing this, I felt terrible and was also angry at myself. All the thoughts I had about my children were wrong. My children were far better than that. The wrong thoughts I was having were mistaken. Labannya didn't tell Rajib this, and I didn't say anything to him either, because the work was finished now. A few days later, Rajib got the room's roof repaired and our house was fixed. Gradually, our situation started to improve. Labannya started tutoring children at home, our condition became better than before, and there was no more poverty in our house. I have faced many hardships in my life, but God has given me good and intelligent children. They understood that we had to work hard because we didn't have a father's shadow over our heads, and I couldn't do much. It's a great thing that everything is fine now. A million thanks to God that what I thought didn't happen. Finally, I want to say, take care of your children, spend time with them, and keep an eye on their activities. When children grow up, give them separate beds. Learn from my mistake and don't make those same mistakes with your children that I did. I hope you liked our story.